Today is a wonderful day to be wonderful. I am full of life this morning. I guess I'm like that every morning, even though like some mornings I do be grumpy, but it always comes back around to me being full of life. Like I don't really navigate throughout my morning journey without finding some peace, if nothing else. It's funny because changing your environment really do be changing like you as a person. Like me on this journey of relocating to Houston and all of that, and I don't got my mic in, so sorry if it sounds crazy, but it's like relocating to Houston um did something for me. Like this has been an amazing experience. Like I have for the first time, like you can't run from yourself. Like a lot of people think that when you move to a new city or move to a new state or like leave your hometown, that it's the great escape. Like it's going to be the thing that changes you forever, and it does change you forever. But you go through this ugly process of like all of the stuff you thought you were running from or running away from, and you start to realize like, oh, that's internal. Like, oh, I have to do the work on that. I have to deal with that. I have to go and talk to a therapist or sit with myself or hold myself accountable or whatever else comes with it. And I just like everybody else who took the great leap, have experienced that. A lot of you already know my story about like leaving home and packing up my house and living in a hotel for 2 months and all of those things. And it's funny because as stress, I guess it's not funny, but it's like we're approaching a year now. Like we're about to be a year in next month, and so now being a year in, having had like all of these different experiences and transactions with people and life and God and all of these other things, it's like it's kind of funny to look back and say, damn, you was doing all that stressing and God had a plan all along. There was things that took place in that hotel room that equipped me for things that I experience right now today. And it's like this has really just been a journey that has like made me a woman. It made me it's making me it's become a better woman. It's preparing me to be a wife. It's equipping me with being a better mother. And it's not a cliche thing. It all goes back to changing the environment because what happens is even though like some of my vices are still like within me and I do still battle with certain things. Is that coffee? Um, I've not only grown, but I've learned a lot. Like, for example, and I don't talk about it too often, but my relationship with God has strengthened so much. And it wasn't like, I don't know if it was that I had to be brought down to like extreme lows, like go into that space of, okay, I'm going to wipe from everything or everything you think you need or everything you think is like I'm gonna wipe you away from everything you think you need, everything you think you know, um, everybody you think you need, and I'm gonna make you rely just on me. And like being in that hotel from day one, like from really since before I left home, God just started like speaking to me. And then experiencing everything that we experienced, being there, the job, like damn, he was about to run me off the road. That's crazy that he was about to run me off the road like that. But like at one point in time, we was in a hotel room. Like when I first got here, I had started working. So okay, let me go back a little bit. When I was in high school, I took up a trade for SPNA. So like being a caregiver. And back in like 2019, I stepped away from it. Like I fully stepped away from it. I was just like, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm just not doing this anymore. I want a career change. I opened up my nonprofit. I started focusing extremely hard on my service-based business, all of these other things. And so it just was not priority for me to be a caregiver, and that's for several different reasons. And so I ended up losing my certificate because in the state of Ohio, you have to work at least 24 hours or like 12 hours in a year in order to keep your certificate valid. And so upon me making a decision, like, okay, I'm not doing this, I decided that I was, walking away from it. And in the midst of that, life started lifing. Fast forward, coming back. Fast forward, getting here to Houston, life was like that, and business became slow. Like the relationship with the client that I had started to change, and I'll probably speak on that another time. But that started to change, and so what ended up happening was I ended up going to work at a nursing home or whatever. Now, mind you, the kids are like, I don't know anybody here at this point. I don't like they don't know me, and so while in the hotel, I was like having to leave the kids at the hotel while I go to work or whatever. So I decided to like let me use this, let me exercise this because here in the state of Texas, they have like some assisted living programs where you don't have to have your license or whatever or your certificate. So I go and I start working at this nursing home or whatever, assisted living facility. And so one day at the hotel, the kids are there by themselves. I'm at work and I get a phone call from the hotel and they're like underneath the bed and all this other stuff. And I'm like, what's wrong? So two things had happened actually. One, it was the cleaner or whatever, maintenance or something coming to check on the apartment. So now I had to like dash and run home, like leave work from, and it was maybe like a 20-30 minute job. So I had to like jet across town to get to the hotel room. So that was the one incident. So then like right after that, I'm at work and a shooting happened at the hotel room, like maybe two or three doors down, and somebody was killed where our hotel was, or whatever, or who was living in the hotel with us. And so, like, it started to become extremely stressful. Like, damn, how am I going to front the bill and like take care of my kids and figure this out and get over this hurdle? And keep them safe at the same time. So I decided to just like, let me leave, and that's what I did. I ended up leaving the job. So I wasn't even there 30 days. I maybe got like one paycheck, and I just was like, forget it, I'll figure it out. Maybe a couple weeks later, I ended up closing a deal with another client, which was like a $1,500 contract or whatever. And so throughout all of this goes back to my relationship being strengthened with God, right? Because throughout all of this, I'm panicking, I'm stressing, like, how am I gonna take care of things? And every step of the way, he's like, yo, I got you. Like, we never missed a meal. We never, like, there was at one point in time I went to church. Actually, I joined the church the same day. So this was like the first week of being in that hotel room. I had already been watching like Lighthouse Church at home and things of that nature before ever moving. And again, I'm in this hotel room, I'm crying every day. I'm like praying, and I'm just like, did I make the right decisions? Like, what's going on? All of these things. And so I ended up going to church like that first week of being in the hotel, and I prayed. The pastor prayed over me. Like, we go into this room. I actually I shared my story, and I did not go in there. I only went in there looking for God. Like, honestly, I went into church looking for God. Like, I went searching for Him. there's this song by Life Jennings, and he talks about like I called my grandmother on the phone, say, "Oh lady, you best get home, 'cause God ain't where you said He would be, and there's something that I really need to speak with Him about." Immediately, she say, "Boy, tell Granny what's wrong. Is there something I can do?" I say, "Big Mama, now it's a sensitive issue, and Lord knows I don't want to burden you, but I need someone to talk to, 'cause it's been 26 years and 17 days, been to 5 different prisons, got 2 babies on the way." But anyway, that's my song. But and it speaks to me. But that song was speaking to me, like it came to me, like God gave it to me, download, like gave that song to me and put it on my spirit. And so now going back to me going into the church. When I went into the church, I really was going into the church to look for God. It was like, yo, you told me, it's going to make me cry. It's like, yo, you told me to pack my shit up and come to Houston. I said I was going to Florida. My mother moved to Florida and was waiting on me to get there. And you told me to come here, and I don't know why. Like, I don't know why. I don't get it. I don't understand it. And I was really, really experiencing all of these different breakdowns, like mentally losing my shit. So when I went into that church, y'all, like I really was in there looking for God. Like I was looking for Him to speak to me. And it was Pastor Keon who I was listening to at home. I had no idea or no understanding that there was multiple pastors in there. And so going back to the story, when I got there, like I was spoken like life, God came down and was just sitting on my lap and holding me and hugging me and just really speaking life into me. And so before I left out that day, I shared my story in that room. And this lady went into her purse and she gave me every dollar that was inside of her purse, y'all. And I've never experienced anything like that. Like, she gave me every dollar that was in her purse and was like, this is what God told me to do. And, I left the church that day with food, with money, with all of these things. And again, I never asked for anything. I went in there searching for God. I went in there looking for God because it was like, yo, you told me to come here. Like, what the hell did you make me pack my family up for, my kids up for, and relocate and move? And like now I'm so vulnerable. I'm vulnerable. I feel like I don't have anybody. I feel like I don't know, what my next move is. Like I was experiencing a washing machine of emotions and a washing machine of things. And so I said all of this to say I left out that day with the full understanding that He did not bring me this far to drop me off and leave me. And that was the thing that like started to carry me. So it went from, yeah, I didn't have money to feed us. No, I didn't have a roof over our head. Yes, I did take my last $1,000 and pack my tide up and pack my car up and, move me and my children. But that was not the end of my story. Like that was the beginning. Like even where I am now, being inside of my home, working 2 different jobs, having business starting to pick back up, more just speak more life to people being able to come to me and ask me about mentorship or mentoring them, or just there's so much growth has taken place. It has not even been a year yet. Like next month will make it a year, and it's just, it reminded me, like it's nothing else. I was not reminded of anything else. If I did not know anything else, it was this thing that this experience is helping me become, not just become a better woman, but become a wife to my husband who has not found me yet. It is helping me become a better mother. It is helping me become a better person. Like I am tried and tested every single day, whether it's through my temper, and just learning how to talk to people better, learning how to deal with people better, learning how to do business better. Like everything, every moment, every second is a moment of growth, of expanding. And I'm just grateful for that. I don't think we spend enough time just being grateful for the little things. And so when I go back and I go back into that space of you have to be in the position to receive those downloads. You have to be able to receive what God has for you. You have to listen. Like, had I not zoomed from work that day and left that job, even knowing, while being in that hotel room, I was knowing, like, excuse me, yo, if I leave this job right now to go home and get my kids or go to this hotel room and get my kids, I'm more than likely going to lose my job. For one, I don't know how I'm going to feed them. For two, and I don't know what's next. But it was like, even with that, when he said move, I moved. And that's what everything, like when he said leave Cleveland, I left. When he said leave the jobs, I leave. When he said leave those people where they are, I leave. And so you have to have I know, like, some people might call it discernment, some people call it, energy, whatever you want to call it. Like, you have to have the ability to listen and receive those downloads. And it wasn't to turn this conversation into like this, just a conversation about God, even though that is at the center of many things, of all things. It wasn't. That wasn't the goal here. The goal was, I think I was supposed to go that way. I was supposed to go that way. The goal was to really share that where you are today, you will not be tomorrow. What your problems are today, what your worries, what your concerns are today, will not be your problems and concerns of tomorrow. And so you just have to learn how to be obedient in these moments. You have to be in the moment. You have to learn to receive in the moment. You have to learn how to be present in the moment. And you have to take action. There is no sitting and waiting. Like, oftentimes we pray for something and it's like, oh God, I want a new table. I want a new table. And God will give you he'll cut the tree down, like he'll strike the tree down for you, give you fresh wood, he'll give you the axe, he'll give you the screws, the nails, the bolts, the wheels, the seat covering, and he's expecting for you to do the work and to put it together to build that table that you said that you desired, that you wanted. But what we'll do is we'll complain, or we'll sit there and keep praying for the very things that he already gave us the tools to go out and get, or to receive. And so, encouragement. I hope that who I am, what I share with you all, the pieces of me that I share with you all, if it does nothing else, I hope it inspire you to act, to take action, to execute, to not continue to sit around and wait. Don't sit around. We can't sit around. We cannot afford, like, sitting around and waiting is a luxury. We cannot afford the luxury of sitting around and just waiting. Jesus was a man who served every single day. And he had his moments of rest, but he was a man who got up and served every single day. And so you have to find, and then I get it, like, everybody's situation is different. But the one thing it is that you do have to use what you have right now. And I don't mean that in like I don't mean that in like a players club type of way, like not a use what you got to get what you want type of thing, but really going in depth of like, yo, I might not have a job right now, but I desire to have a job, or some security, some income to be able to take care of my daily needs. So let me actively, every day I'm waking up, I'm filling out my 5 applications and I'm putting it in. Even if I don't hear anything 6 months from now, from the time that I had left that job, when we first got here at that nursing home, I didn't get a job again until September. So that was what, like 3 or 4 months. I didn't get a job again until September. I worked that September job for about a month, and I was fired. That was my very first time ever being fired. But I was fired. After being fired, I didn't get a job again until what, February. So that was another 4 or 5 months. And throughout those time spans, guess what? My kids did not go hungry. There might have been some days where we had to have oatmeal for dinner. That very well may have happened, but they didn't go hungry. Their lights were on. They had warm water. Why am I saying all of this? Why does this matter? This matter because your needs are going to be provided either way, but you still have to get up and put one foot in front of the other every single day. And you cannot surround yourself with, let me tell you this. We talked recently about protecting your poor, right? Talked about protecting your poor. And to protect your poor simply means that everybody does not receive, or that everybody is not meant to receive what you have to offer. I'm a vocal person. I have a lot of wisdom, so I share that. For you, it might be something different. You might be a giver. You might be an action person. You might be the person who walks in the room and nobody ever has to lift a finger because you're in the room. Everybody don't deserve for you to be that person to or for them. How do I know? True, how do I know? People who deserve your poor are not going to be combative with you. You don't have to argue with them about everything. You don't have to beg them to pour into them or to help them. They are going to reciprocate the energy. They're going to value you. But you have to protect that poor because everybody does not deserve to have access to you. Everybody does not deserve for you to be a servant to or for them, because not everybody is doing things for the greater good of everybody involved. Humans, and God even tells us this, humans have ill hearts. We want to do well, we mean well, but humans are can naturally be evil people. You cannot trust a human's heart. You can't. And so with that being said, you have to know how to protect you. Where am I going with this? Why do you got to know how to protect you and protect your poor? Because it's deeper than just you. Everybody has a village. Whether it's your auntie, your mom, your kids, everybody, your friends, everybody has a village. And then when you do not protect your poor, it affects your village. If I go in and I pour into every person who crossed my path and they do not add value to me, to what I'm building, the way that I'm doing to them, it now affects anyone I'm mentoring. It affects clients. It affects my children. It affects my money. So you have to protect your poor. You can trust people to be exactly who they are, but you yourself have to protect your poor. A lot of the times we're drained. We feel undervalued. We feel like nobody sees us, hears us. They don't see our work. Nobody understands me. But the truth is, we're spending too much time pouring into the individuals who are they're not reciprocating energy. They're not even, not just back into you, but back into their own village, their own tribe, their own family, their own household. So now you are not only pouring from an empty cup, you pour into a cup with holes in it. And so when we talk about progress, when we talk about growth, when we talk about becoming the best versions of ourselves that we can, when we talk about being a righteous being, when we talk about any of these things, this becomes impossible because the people we are surrounding ourselves with and the people we are pouring into and we are allowing to pour into us are affecting the flow. So don't allow your flow to be affected all because you want companionship or you feel alone or you didn't receive something. You didn't have enough birthday parties when you were growing up. You didn't get enough hugs when you were growing up. Whatever it may be. Are those traumas real? Absolutely. Should we deal with them or face them, work through them? Absolutely. All of that goes back to where I started the story at, which was journey, our own personal journey, being present in your journey, being aware in your journey, being able, being available, changing your environment, things of that nature, being open to receive, being open to talking to a professional. All of those things go hand in hand with it. But yeah, no, true. All in all, I'm getting close to my destination, and so when I get over here, things get a little wacky, service get a little wacky, um, and so forth. But I'm gonna leave you with this: make a list of your wants, your needs, your desires, and let's start crossing some stuff off the list, and let's actually trust God to help us cross stuff off that list because we don't got to be in control of everything. But we do have to be available and we do have to be willing to show up and do the work. I love y'all and be great on purpose. Have an amazing day. There's a lot of energy going on right now. There's a total solar eclipse that's about to happen in about an hour or two. That's going to be a lot of energy. This is like a time of this is what I want, this is who I am, this is what I'm going after, and I will not settle. It's a dead something. I don't know what that was. It looks like a coyote, honestly. But yeah, this is that time. And that energy exists. And the reason I'm saying all of these things is because that energy exists. And anything you want wants you right back. But you got to tell it that you want it. So, tell you truth, be great on purpose, and have an amazing day.